This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, so I will share the recording after the class. It's currently getting recorded. As I told that I have also put module 2 and module 3 open right now. The corresponding module 2 is basically probability statistics basics, and module 3 is no sound. Others cannot hear me. Okay, then I think you have to check your connection, audio connection, Pritam. Yeah. Okay, so as I was telling that, so module 3 will be probability and statistics, and I can suggest a good book for that, but I don't think that you will be able to buy that book right now. I can again suggest certain places where you can download books, but that is not the right way, frankly speaking. I will be teaching stuff in this class itself, whether you have the book or not, doesn't matter. But still, a reference book in statistics is something that you need for the later part of your career. So I think you can probably buy the book, that the one that I will be telling. It's I think 400-500 rupees cost, but I'm not sure whether that will be delivered now. But even if it gets delayed in terms of delivery and etc., I think you should buy that book. As a good book. No, I will send you the mail. No issues. Don't worry. I will send you the mail. You don't write here. I will send you the mail. Okay, so currently it is not needed. Currently, for starting off, that our cookbook that I have told is I don't know. I cannot. So the book that I am referring to, Sonal, does not have an online version, so you cannot download it from online. So you have to look for other online. So you can look it up in torrents probably, but again, I would not suggest that as a professor. I think that you should. I think it means even if it is available in torrent for the short time, you can probably download, but in the long term, it's 500 rupees. You should buy that. I'm pretty sure that will be a very means wise choice that you bought that if you buy by chance. Anyways, so module 1, module 2 is like that, and module 3 I have shared the codes and etc., but I will be teaching the class. Now this module 1, I will just recap the videos, and I will be a little bit quicker. Again, Gandharvi, I think you have to check your own connection, because many other people are able to hear me. So please check your audio connection. Sorry, there's no point on somebody is not able to hear and I'm answering him on words. Anyways, module 2, module 3 are not able to. Module 2 is not, there is nothing in module 2 right now. You will only just see the name, Arsha. There is nothing in module 2 right now. I just wrote the name, and when I take the class, the corresponding video link will be posted there. So you will get the video link from there. At this moment, nothing is. For example, like demo sessions video is also posted like that. The module 1, module 2 videos will be posted there. Now these videos I have shared already. The one that I am going to do today is basically that module 1 one's corresponding data set. So my suggestion will be download that data set, which is, if I'm not wrong, intro to r.zip file. Download that zip file, then unzip it in a folder. That is very important. You should not just open it in let's say WinRAR or WinZip and then double click on that. Don't do that. Unzip the files in a folder. After downloading the zip file, unzip the files in a folder. It can be anywhere. It can be in your desktop. It can be somewhere else. Unzip it in your folder, because that will be very important at a later point of time. That practice is very important. Okay. And then my suggestion will be the next thing after unzipping it in a folder. My suggestion is that whether you will be able to see this kind of a view or not. So what I did is I installed R and RStudio first. So R and RStudio, the links I have shared. I hope you all have been able to download the files, download the softwares and install it. Now, after installing it, first you have to install Madhusmita. If the network connection is lost, and that is for Gandharvi also, we are recording it. Yeah, Gandharvi, yes, thanks. So even if you by chance miss in some of the places, some of the times if you miss it, my suggestion is that we are recording it, so you will have the recorded version. Try to be in the class as much as possible. But yeah, so initial days there will be some glitches, some technical glitches is obvious, but as we go ahead, we will be overcoming that kind of problem. So Nandavi, we told nothing. So nothing important as of now. You can just listen to the video. I'm recording it, so I will share the recording link. So next time it will be you can hear the video. Okay. So as I was telling that, so you have to first install R and then install RStudio. RStudio is nothing but an UI over R. R is the compiler. The core language is R, and RStudio UI makes it a little bit easier to work on. Obviously, R has its own UI as well. It's like C has its own UI, but we also sometimes download some other kind of, let's say, notebook or something. Similarly, this one is RStudio. You can also write it in notebook, frankly speaking, and then run it in R. But RStudio is a better version because there are certain characteristics which is more focused towards R programming and helps you in certain ways, and we will find out that. Now, once you open RStudio, just you have installed RStudio, and let's say you opened RStudio, it will look like this. This is the view that you will get, and then probably lots of text will be written here in the console part. This is the view that you will generally get, which is for the first time if you open the RStudio. And then my suggestion will be, if you are opening the RStudio for the first time, go to File, New File, and RScript, or Ctrl+Shift+N. So it's like a new doc file that you open, similar to a new doc file that you can open in Google. In Microsoft Word. Similar to that, you can get a something like this. Now, if you see carefully in this particular picture that I have shared, there are basically 4 quadrants. You can say 4 boxes or 4 quadrants. So, do you know what is quadrant, right? You understand what is a quadrant in a X5? Okay. So quadrant is basically, if I break it into 4 halves, this is this part, which is the global environment. It is written here, global environment. That is my first quadrant, and something is written here. That is my second quadrant, which is like the where this untitled 1 is written, and then the console is my third quadrant. And there are lots of tabs in the 4th quadrant, like files, plots, packages. There are lots of tabs are there in the 4th quadrant. So this is something that we will be trying to take care of. Now, in these 4 quadrants, each of this quadrant has some purpose. The second quadrant and the 4th quadrant is the most important. 3rd quadrant is the most important one. The second quadrant is your untitled 1. Which is the editor. What is an editor? editor is what you write a code. Let's say I write something, some FGH, IJKLM. So that is something. If I want to save it, I write some code. If I want to save it, this editor will help. This is what I will write a code when the purpose of writing the code is to save the code for further use. Understand it carefully that if you want to save the code for further use, you should write here. But you should write here if you just practice. If you are running a code, something you would write, and you do not know what will be the result coming, and you are trying and testing, it is better to write in the console, because console is where things will be running, and untitled one that is there is where things, whatever you can write, can be saved. Now my suggestion will be, there are some of you who have been practicing with this w1s1.r, w1s2.r, the three files that I have shared before. By chance, if those files are open here at the top, please close the file and keep this blank untitled file with you. Any file that is open here, just press on this cross sign. Up beside this untitled one, you will see there is a cross sign. Just press on the cross sign and it will close. And keep only this particular thing open. Fair enough? Now, okay, you have to stop me if I'm going fast. I will go fast today because I have already shared the videos, but if you are finding it difficult, stop me. That is something that is your responsibility. So I will come to that. First and fourth quadrant, I will come to that. So let's say A is equal to 0, something I wrote. Okay. Or so print hello. The always, this is something that we write at the first one. Print hello, or let's say A is equal to 0, something you can write. So let's say I want to have written A is equal to 0, and now I want to run this. I want to run this line. So how I will run this line? I will select the whole part that I have written and click on this run button. There is a run button, if you can see. Click on this run button. So put your name, administrator, whoever has named yourself administrator, please put your name. So if I just press run button, in the console you see, in the console, this A is equal to 0 has got run, and there has some change in the first quadrant, which is the global environment. But this is how you run a code. You select the code and you click on that run button, and it will run the code. Okay. Now let's say that's all my code is. A is equal to 0. This is something that I want to run. That's all. Now I want to save the code. How will I save this code, which I have already written in my editor? This is my editor, untitled one. What I want to save? There is a save button. If you can see, there is something called a, you can see there is a button which looks like floppy disk, if you know what I mean. So if I click on that, this save button, the moment I click on this save button, it is asking me, so you can go somewhere, you can browse and then write, okay, practice.r. This .r, this is very important, you write this .r. So practice.r, and then I save it. So the moment I saved it, this untitled one became practice.r. It's like new doc file. You open a new doc file, then write something and then save it. So it is a good practice when you are doing a coding to keep on saving your code, so that you don't miss it later, or if by just the computer hangs, your codes don't get vanished, etc. So this is a good practice. So just 1 minute. Let me just Okay, I just locked this thing. Lock the meeting because as I told that 10 minutes will be this thing, and then we have to lock it. So okay, if I want to go ahead now. Okay, so that's how you just save one thing. Now the next one is something that I want to check is this. I will just open the old file. So you can go to instead of new file, you can go to open file, and then just like browse it. So go to open file, browse it, and then double click on it. Or you can go to the folder and double click on that. Anyone will work. So let's say we will be working on this w1s1.r, which is week 1 season 1 in my NPTEL course. I am using this NPTEL course as video because initial part is same as I was telling yesterday. So now that I will be working on this file, let's close w1 this practice.r. I'm just closing this practice.r. And another thing that I want to do now is to clean this environment and the console. So cleaning this environment can be done by clicking on this clear cell objects from the workspace. So see, there is a small sign which looks like a just let me ask you, can you see my cursor moving? Means when I move my mouse, are you able to see it? Okay, okay, fair enough. Thank you. That's reassuring. Okay, so you can go to this sign which is like brush shine, and you click on this, and your environment gets cleaned. So are you sure you want to remove all objects from the environment? Yes. And console can be cleaned. Let's say you have written lots of things in the console which is not needed. Control L, Control and L, that will clean your console. Control L will clean your console. Okay. Now coming back to so this is our file w1s1.r. I will run one by one the codes. It will run in the console. Now somebody asked me what is this first quadrant and what is this fourth quadrant. So I will come to the fourth quadrant much later when which will be required. Each of these tabs will be required at some point of time. So I will talk about them later. But the first quadrant is basically your local storage, I would say. So that is where whatever you want to store gets saved. For example, you wrote a is equal to 0. This 0 number got saved in the name of a, and that got saved in this particular place, which is your global environment. You can say that is basically your computer storage. So from there you can access certain variables. So a is called a vector or a variable. What is a variable? A variable is something which varies. So a is a variable because it varies. And how it varies? The content in it varies. So the name does not vary. A remains same, but the content in it gets varied. So that is something that we are trying to do here. And then b is equal to 5. So what did I do in this two line? I have just saved two values, 0 and 5, with the two names a and b. Now you can understand here just the difference between what I did is I have just ran this one. First I selected this and clicked on run. Next I selected this and clicked on run, and one by one this has ran. And the above one, this one is not a code. Anything in R that starts with a hash is not a code, it's a comment. We call it a comment. What is a comment's purpose? The purpose of comment is to remember later that what I am doing. So if this will not run, R will understand, or any computer language will understand that the moment it starts with that hash sign, this is not a particular code. That is something which is a I would say the hash sign is something that is a comment. So that is something that we can try to do. Again, 1 minute, please. Some files were waiting in there. Let me check how to allow people. So please try to be within the first 10 minutes of the class, because otherwise it becomes problematic. I lock it and then many people are trying to join. So please try to be in the first 10 minutes. Okay, so as I was telling that, so this is something that I ran, and A and B got saved. Now, how I will access whatever got saved in A? If I want to get the value that is saved in A, I will just write A in the console and then press an enter. So the moment I press it, it comes A is equal to 0. This term, this one has a different meaning. I will talk about this later. This one has a different meaning, but this one is just saying that I have I got a variable called A and which has a value called 0. That's all. Then if I type B and press an enter, then that will come 5. That one has a different meaning. I will talk about that. So how to comment bunch of lines without using. Okay, so if I want to, let's comment these 2 lines together. So he said that how to comment a bunch of lines. So let's say by chance I want to make these 2 lines comment. So I will select these 2 lines and go to code and then comment uncomment line or Control Shift C. So the moment I click comment uncomment lines, these 2 becomes comment. Okay, these 2 becomes comment. Now if I want to again uncomment them, select them, go to code, comment uncomment line, this 2 becomes uncomment. So you can go in one go. You can actually make things comments and or uncomment them in one go. So Control Shift C, or you can go and do it there. Fair enough. So next is, let's say this is I am creating a vector with only one value, which is 0 and 5. I just pressed Control L to clean the console. So next is if I want to create a longer vector, means one vector which has multiple values in. We call it sometimes in C, those who know C, those who have a coding background, this is called an array. What is an array? It is basically, you can think it like this way, that just one minute. Let me just scribble down a little bit. So let me just try to do. Hey, how to remove it? Okay, so let me just tell you what is an array. An array is something that looks like this. You can think about in this way, or you can think it or you can think it in this way. So these two are both are arrays, and basically these two are what? These two are you can think about a row or a column in an Excel file where certain values are there in that particular values, and each cell has some value. This cell has some value, this cell has some this cell value, and so on. So we, unlike in C, I think this is the 0th cell, this is first, this is second, this is third, this is fourth. But in here we run, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and this one is 5. So the above one that I've written is basically what happens in C, and the below one is what happens in R. Similarly, this is the first cell, this is the second, this is the third, this is the fourth, and the last one is the fifth. So that these are basically the positions of the sets. Now, if I just try to find out, try to find out that there are 10 values, 1 to 10, and I create a vector like this and I save it in some name, I can write A equal to 1:10. That will do what? You will see that in your here it become an integer vector which is 1 to 10. int stands for integer, and if I just write A and press enter here, it gives 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This one has a different meaning. I will talk about that later. So I can also try to find out another vector which is not in sequence, not 1 to 10, something else. So I have to write it like this: 2, let's say 2, 5, 6, 8, 9. There are 5 values, and each are residing into different cells. So I have to write it in this way and then combine them with this C. So C and a first bracket always gives you a vector in return. Now, if I run that and save it in B, see there is a difference. This A and B is an object name that you are giving, and this C is not an object name. Anything written before a first bracket. Let's say I write C and then a first bracket, or let's say I write mean and then a first bracket, or I write SD standard deviation or then a first bracket, or if I write length and then a first bracket. Anything that is written before a first bracket is always a function. So here this C guy, this particular person, is a function. This particular guy is not something that not a name that I'm trying to say. Sir, what did you mean by it starts from 0 in C and 1 in R? Okay, so depends that the address. No, so I am trying to say that there are, let's say, 5 cells. Think about an Excel file. Think about an Excel file. Excel file. There are if there are rows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's how you count the rows. In C programming, that count starts from 0. So the first row is called 0th row or 0th cell, and second row is first cell. So there are some people who have done C programming probably here. So that's why I'm saying it starts from 0. What can we use any other alphabet? No, Atul. This is an inbuilt function. That C is an inbuilt function. Okay. We do not require C if we write in sequence? No. When we write in sequence, this is a very special case when we do not require that C. But it is always a good practice. If you are confused, put a C and not a capital C, small c. This capital and small has different meanings here. So small c, Vikash. Yes, we have already declared variable A. C is defining B exactly. B is a variable name, and the small c is a function. You do not only look at that small c, you look that after small c there is a first bracket, and we have written something in that first bracket. So anything with a first bracket is a function. Here c is a function. What is a function? Function is something that does some job and gives some output. Now c is a function whose output is always a vector. I will come to that, Siddharth. I will come to that. So now if I just write B and press yes, but Arindam, the only difference is 1 to 10 is in a sequence, while 2, 5, 6, 8, 9 are not in sequence. That's all. So if I just type B, then I get this thing. So if I want to get what are the values stored in B, I type B and pressed. Now, if somebody asks me that A is an integer and B is a numeric, why it is coming like that? It is coming like that because the moment I write this 1:10, R understands that I have to give an output which is a sequence of integers. For example, let's say if I write 1:12.34, 1:12.34, still it gives me integers. It does not give me something like some non-integer values. So R understands. As of now, I have never used irrational values. As of now, I have never tried. I have to check. I cannot answer that. I'm not sure. So 1:12.34. Even if this is not an integer, this 12.34 is not an integer. This 1 to 12 is giving me a sequence of integers. So this always gives you, this colon sign always gives you a sequence of integers. So that's something that R inherently knows. But when I write B is equal to this, I just copied it and pasted it here. I could have wrote 10.5 later and 12.3 later. R does not know what will come next. So whenever we put numbers manually, it will take it as numeric. If I put a colon, it will take it as integers because this colon always gives integer outputs. This colon sign always gives integer outputs. So that's why it is giving integer. Fair enough. So I have created two simple vectors. Now if I want to know the length of a vector, let's say A, I want to know how long this A is. So the code of that is length within bracket A. So length within bracket A, if I just run that does see after running this code, line number 9, nothing happened in global environment. Why nothing happened in global environment? Because we have not stored anything in the global environment. We have not wrote anything like that A is equal to something or C is equal to something. We have not wrote anything like that. We have just wrote that print length of A. And length of A is 10 because there are 10 numbers in it. The length of the array is 10 because there are 10 numbers in it. Now, if I want to save this number, I can write C is equal to length of B. And then this C gets stored as 10. Can you tell me what is the difference between this C and this C? I have told this in 2-3 minutes back. What is the difference in the C that I write in line number 7 and C before exactly? C before question mark exactly. So C is a function. Pranavendra wrote correctly. So C within a bracket, after a bracket is a function, and then this is an object. So these two are two different people, and R understands that these two are two different people. Fair enough? Object or variable, yes, very good. So now I will go ahead, Control L, I will again clean the console. Now if I want to know the class of A, B and C, I've just chosen all these three lines together, run it. So class of A is integer, B is numeric, C is also integer as it is stored here. Some of the times this class becomes handy. You will know that when you deal with bigger data sets, this class becomes handy. You want to know the class of the object. Now, let's say I want to create a sequence. Okay, that's a good question. What does this L comes? I have never checked. Let me find out that. No, it's not the length 5. It's only the value 5. It's not the length 5. This length is 1. Length of C is 1. Okay. So I think I will check for that 5 LEs. Now let me just run another vector, which is a sequence vector. So I'm writing that I need something which starts from, what about character vector? Coming, will come. So because it's actually true for everybody that sometimes it becomes helpful if I have shared some videos. If you have listened to those videos and come, then what happens is you will know that what is coming. That helps. In some of the things that I have done here, I will be doing in this class. It is better to if you prepare and come. So to answer Vikas's question, it is coming. Wait for another 5 minutes and I will come to this character vector. Okay. Yes, modern class of the same thing. Yes. So now sequence, I want, let's say, a sequence which starts from 1, goes up to 30, and a jump of 2. That means 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, something like that. If I try to want that. So the function is, syntax is seq, sequence. Then the first number from where the sequence starts. The second number is where the sequence ends. And y is equal to 2. So that means the jump. So if I run this, I get A, which is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. Now, how do I know this? How do I know that this is how I have to write? 1, 30, as long as I know, that's very good. But there are so many. Can you see the screen? What happened? I don't know. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So the next is, how will I know this? So to know that, I will click on this one, help within bracket seq, or you can also write question mark seq. Question mark seq or help within bracket seq. If you run that, it will give the same result. If you run that in the help tab in your fourth quadrant, and that's the first use of the fourth quadrant. There are other ones also, but in the help tab you will get the whole description, and this is something that you have to learn and understand. You have to read and understand. That it is saying that these are the different ways seq can be used, and their meaning, the arguments, what this from, to, by, length out, what is the meaning of that is written here. And then certain usages are also given here. If you come down, there are certain examples which are also given here. You can try out what is, let's say this one, sequence 0, 1 and length out is going to 11. What is this guy giving? This guy giving 0 to 1 and the output has 11 length. So that means it is breaking it into 10 intervals, equisized intervals. Or let's say if I just write this, then what happens? So you can try out them and see that what is happening. 1.575, then 1.625, which is this plus 0.05. Then this plus 0.05 is 1.675. So this is how you can use sequence. I can also write sequence 70, something like that. And it will give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's same as writing 1:70. So basically, a help document will help you to understand that what happens in the code, what are the syntax in the code. Now, to know the syntax, to use the help, at least you have to know the name of the function. If you do not even know the name of the function, which is ACQ function in this case, okay, I will just run. The length output is like this. So it is breaking 0 to 1. The first value is 0. The last value is 1. And it is creating a sequence of 11 digits within 0 to 1. That's the length output. Let's say I say 0 to 100 with a length output of 11. It will give 0, 10, 20, 30, 40 because it is breaking 0 to 100 into 10 equal intervals. If you break in 10 equal intervals, then you will get 11 output. Okay, so that length output is the length of this output. The output's length is 11. Fair enough? Okay, so now if you have to at least know this, so 12 breaks means you have to write length output is equal to 30. So let's say I write 30. So see, it is breaking it into 12 equal breaks. So 12 means what? Each break will be 8.33, something like that. If I break 100 divided by 12, 8.33. So multiples of 8.33 is posted. Fair enough? Okay. So I have to at least know this SEQ function. Unless you know this SEQ function, the existence of a function named SEQ and not sequence, not SEQUE, but just SE and Q. You have to know at least this much. So to know this much, if you do not know this much, your best friend is, yes. If you know this much, your best friend, if you do not know that much, your best friend is basically Google. So we all do coding based on Google. So how to do it based on Google? Let me just show it to you guys. So I will share my Google. And let's say here I write how to do a sequence in R, something like that, as naive as like this, and it will go to this thing and give me some. There are lots of guys who are helping us out, and let's say I go to the first one. So you can go to any one of them. It's something you have to. So for basic ones, you can go to any one of them. Stack Overflow is good to go, and then probably this one. So it is saying that, see, there is a sequence generator. Corresponding function is SEQ. It is written here. So when it is written here, you can go and check that whether that kind of function is there in your R. What is the meaning? What is the syntax, and etc. You can go and check it. So that's how you have to believe on Google, because there are more than probably 50-60,000 these things are there. More than 50-60,000 functions are there. Nobody can actually know all the functions available in R. So if that is the case, then you have to rely on Google to handle it. Okay. Similarly, if I want to repeat, so repeat vector does this. Let's do it quickly. V is equal to do. So it repeats 220 times. 2, 20 is repeating 220 times. And you can also search for the help to know more. Now, let's say I want a particular value in that vector. I want to know, I do not want to know what is there in B. I want to know what is there in the fifth cell of B or fifth cell of A, because A has multiple cells. I want to know what is there in the fifth cell of A. So I write A, third bracket, 5. Now, what did I say? Anything A and first bracket. What does it mean? A and first bracket. What does it mean? Function. And A and third bracket means that A is a address. Very good. So you guys have seen my video. So A is a location or an address. Very good. So that's why A5 gives me 5. A5 gives me 5 because in the fifth cell this 5 beside. Oh, sorry, A5 gives me 9. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So A5 gives me 9 because the location of fifth cell. So whatever is there in the fifth cell, not the location, the content in the fifth cell is 9. The location is 5. The value in the fifth cell is 9. Yes. Similarly, let's say I do not want only the fifth cell. I want fifth, seventh, eighth, and ninth cell. Yes, address of 9 is cell 5. Yes, yes, yes. So let's say I want who resides in fifth, seventh, eighth, and ninth cell of A. So I can write it like this, that C is equal to C579. This is a vector. This is a function which returns a vector. So I got C is equal to 57899 right now. And if I put A within C, then what I get? I get the value in the fifth cell, which is 9. I get the value in the seventh cell, which is 13. I get the value in the eighth cell, which is 15. And I get the value in the ninth cell, which is 17. So I can subset a vector like this. Can you give me, anybody, can you give me what will be the code if I want to know what are the values that are there in second, fourth, and sixth cell of B? Not A, B, C. Not A, B, C. I asked B. Yes, yes. So check your capital letters, small letters, but otherwise you guys are correct. Fair enough. Very good. So anybody has a doubt in the understanding, you can message me privately also. If you, by chance, you should not be asking first of all. But by chance, if you are, Bindu, this is wrong. You should not put a equal to, exactly, that equality is not needed. These are minor syntax problem. Arun Babu, that equal to is not needed. Okay, okay. So the address is like, you think about a big building. I explained it in this thing that let's say you are standing in front of a multi-story building, and I ask you and you are a newspaper vendor. Let's say you deliver newspapers in this building, and that fourth floor's person and sixth floor's person and ninth floor's person is your customer. So the address is fourth floor, sixth floor, and ninth floor. And who decides there? Gupta Ji resides there, or Mishra Ji resides there, or let's say some Rao Ji resides there. So they are the residents of that place. So okay. So they are the residents of this. Yes, I am trying. Let's see. Yeah, can you hear me now? Okay, so in between 1-2 times this breaking may happen. So let me know. That's good job. So that those residents are basically the address is 4th, 6th, and 9th, and whoever resides in this address. Yes, it's indexing. Exactly, it's indexing. Now, indexing is a term which is used in coding. There are people who are non-coding background here also, so I have to use common man's language. So it is indexing. Yes, Divans. Now a is greater than 7. Let's say I want to, if I just run this, a greater than 7. What happens is that if you remember, I started with 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and so on. So 1, 3, 5, 7, it gave me false. And the rest of them, 9 to the end, it gave me true. So this is basically an operator or a test, I would say, a test which gives me true or false these results. So a greater than 7 is giving me false whenever a is not greater than 7 and true whenever it is greater than 7. And I can use this false and true to subset a also. So if I put a greater than 7 within a, only those values will be printed of a which are higher than 7. So if I can do this, I can do other things also. Let's say I want values which are higher than 15 or lower than 8. So the OR function is written like this. This sign comes from enter, just the cell, the key which is just above enter. You can see in your keyboard there is a key which is basically the backslash. So shift backslash will give you this one. Shift backslash will give you this one. So so what does it do? What this much do? This much will do if I just copy the inside one and paste it here. It will give me that. See, the first values are what? A is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. So for 1, 3, 5, 7, the values are smaller than 8. So that's why they are coming true. Then the last values which are higher than 15 comes from 17, 19 to 29. These values are higher than 15, so they are coming true. Anything which is between that 8 and 15 are coming false. So they are coming false. So now I can just print these guys. So A and within bracket this is printing 1, 3, 5, 7 because they are smaller than 8, or whichever is higher than 15, which is 17 to 29. Like OR function, there is an AND function also. AND means both of these conditions has to be satisfied. For example, a is greater than 6 and a is smaller than 10. That means a is between 6 and 10 without taking 6 and 10. So not greater than equal to. If you have to write greater than equal to, just write it in this way. Sorry, not here. This here. Greater than equal to, smaller than equal to. Fair enough. And now if I run this, it will give me values which are greater than equal to 6 and smaller than equal to 10. Something like that. So that's how I can do conditional subsetting. Fair enough. Now, till now I was just printing it. I was not changing anything in ABC. So after this line, after this, probably after line number 25, I have not changed anything in A and B. Now let's say I want to change something in A and B. Let's say, for example, you are that news vendor, and 5th floor mein Gupta ji rehte the. Gupta ji used to stay in 5th floor, and now Gupta ji has shifted and some other person is staying there. Let's say Chatterjee Babu is staying there. So you have to change this Gupta ji to Chatterjee Babu. So how will you do that? So you have to access the address and then change the value in that address. So in an Excel file, you have to go to that cell and then erase the cell and write something else, overwrite it with something else. So that's what we are doing. I am overwriting it. Exactly, Prithviraj. There will be no space between A and 5, but otherwise it's right. So A third bracket 5 is giving me the address. If I just run this much, it will give me who is residing there. Now if I write is equal to 23, that means I am changing the value in A in the 5th cell, and the value, the new value is 23. Yes, for string, that for a character or string, this quotation is needed. But I will come to that, Ankita, don't worry. So A5 is equal to 23 is the 5th cell's value gets changed to 23. So if I now just write A, you will see that the 5th cell's value has got changed to 23. So I can do that for multiple cells. If I can do it for one cell, I can do it for multiple cells also. Like let's say I want 5th, 9th and 10th cell to be 23. I can write it in this way and I can run it. The 5th cell, the 9th cell and 10th cell become 23. Fair enough. I can put different values also. Yes, I will come to that, Arshad. I will come to that. I will come to that. Don't worry. I will come to that. I will come to that. It will be changed to character vector, and I will answer you in some time why. So I'm not doing it right now, but I will come to that. Okay. Now I can also change 5th, 9th, and 10th value to not some single value, to different values. Let's say in the 5th I want 27, in the 9th I want 36, and in 10th I want 111. So I can write it in this way. And these 3 cells, remember, the number of address and the number of replacements has to be same. And also the order of the address and the order of the replacements has to be the same. So 27 will go to the 5th cell only, not in the 9th cell. 36 will go to the 9th cell only, not to the 10th or 5th cell. So the order and the number has to be same. So if I run this and then I write, then it goes it like this way. 5th cell got 27, 9th cell got 36, and 10th cell got 1. Okay. Okay, there are lots of questions. Let me just answer one by one. Arindam Gupta. Yes, this was A greater than 10 and A greater than 5. Yes, this you have written two same things. No, what is the difference? Both these will give me the same output. These are same things you have written. You are asking that whether or are changeable, means A greater than 10 or A smaller than 5 versus A smaller than 5 or A greater than 10. Yes, both gives the same thing. If that is the question, Arindam. Indexing will start from 1 in R. That's what I was trying to say when I drawn it, that in C it will start from 0, in R it will start from 1. Very good that you guys are helping each other. That helps. C means C programming. When you are doing C programming, by chance it will start from 0. Okay, I have not written C in the other. So this one I have written C. This one I have not written C because this is a one single value. I can write C. Actually, it's a good practice to write C. Okay. If you are confused, write C. Shashank, later you will know that in which kind of conditions it doesn't matter. But at this moment, Shashank, I'm telling you, write C. If you have to express a vector which is not named yet, write C. Yes, yes. Yes, A5,7 will give error. Can you just check? A5,7 has a different meaning. Here you are actually giving two address, but the address format has different meaning. And be with me today only before the class ends, you will know what is the meaning of that. Okay, be with me. Now I have dealt a little bit with numeric vector. I will go to character vector. So character vector is basically characters. So there is nothing. So can anybody tell me what happens here? I told what will happen in this part of the code. Repeat PNG 5. Repeat PNG 5. What will I get? PNG will be repeated 5 times, and then HUL will be repeated 10 times, and then Marico will be repeated 5 times, and then I'm joining all of them. So if I just run this line, I will get PNG, 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 and then HUL 10 times, and then Marico 5 times. Yes, it is the same character as part whatever. If I run as.numeric m, as.numeric checks the class. So the class of m is character. It is checking whether it is numeric or not. As.numeric m gives you true or false. So in this case, it will be giving NA. So for all this m, oh no, sorry. As.numeric, okay, don't worry, sorry. So as first of all, it does not. My bad. So class of m is character, fair enough. Now I will talk about is.numeric. Is.numeric checks whether the values that you are putting are numeric or not. So here it is giving me false, that m is it's an inbuilt function. Yes. So is.numeric is an inbuilt function. It is saying that it is not a numeric vector. It is a character vector. If I write is.character m, it will come true. So it is a character vector, but it is not a numeric vector. Now there are two forms of a text that we have to understand. Let's say I have this thing. Let's say I have patient's ID of corona. Let's say I have patient 1, patient 2, patient 3, patient 4, and so on. And it's a patient 5. And now there are 30,000 patients or 37,000 patients. Now let's say this patient 1 is from West Bengal, patient 2 is from West Bengal, patient 3 is from West Bengal, this guy is from Maharashtra, this guy is from Maharashtra, this guy is from Maharashtra, and so on. There are other patients and their corresponding states. Now if I store it in this way, you will understand that there is a column which will have lots of texts. West Bengal, Maharashtra, Andaman Nicobar, Delhi, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh. There will be lots of text in one particular column. Now generally, I will come to that. Wait. I am till 46th line. So don't worry about that, Dipansh, as of now. So if there are lots of text in a particular column which are repetitive in nature, like West Bengal is repetitive in nature. Maharashtra is repetitive in nature. Now, this text column, if you understand that text takes more space than a number is a small value, and then a text is basically each letter is an alphanumeric. Each letter can be encoded with 8 digits. So then it takes much more space than number. So instead of writing a column like this, can I write that, okay, 1 1 1 2 2 2, and then probably there is some Delhi, so 3 3, and then in a separate data set I write 1 is equal to West Bengal, 2 is equal to Maharashtra, and 3 is equal to Delhi. So in a separate data set, if I just write this, in a separate data set, if I just write this, then, and if I just cross out this particular data set, a particular column, if I just forget about this column, and instead of this column, if I remember this as only numbers, code numbers. The code number 1 is West Bengal, code number 2 is Maharashtra, code number 3 is Delhi. So this particular data set then does not have any text in it, probably patient code and the code of the state. So patient code and state code. The moment I create this data set, it reduces size. The size gets reduces and size matters here. So all I'm trying to say here is the R gives you a special facility, and that is where probably it is better than Python, that you can change a text, a string, to a coded form. We call it a factor. A factor is a numeric form of a text. Let me explain what it is. So if I do as.numeric m, remember m is a character variable. This is m. The class of m is character. The class of m is character. So as.numeric, this particular function, is.numeric does what? Is.numeric checks that whether something is numeric or not. Not as.numeric does not do that. Is.numeric, Ankita, you are wrong. Is.numeric checks that whether a variable is numeric or not. As.numeric converts it to its numeric form if there is a numeric form available. If there is no numeric form available, then there is nothing can be done. For example, if I write is numeric and then if I write 1 coded like this, it will give me false because I have given a quotation, and that means that 1 is a string. Fair enough. But if I write as numeric 1, it will convert, because there is a numeric form available to that string, it will convert it to the number. But if I write as numeric Shagato, it will give me false. Any means there is no numeric form available for Shagato. So that's the job of as.numeric. It converts whatever you have given to the numeric form, if that is available. So in this case, my m is a character variable. As.numeric m is giving me a bunch of NAs. Yes. Generally we cannot. We have to manually code it. We have to manually create dummy variables for that. So here, lots of NAs are coming. Okay. But now I am changing it to its factor form, as.factor. So I'm written as.factor m, and I'm saving it in mm. Now there is also as.integer. See, as.integer 12.5. Happy, Rupa? There is a as.integer also available. So class of mm, you guys are jumping. So mm is equal to as factor m. And if I just try to see class of see, this is a factor.
Hello.
So it is,
Hello.
yeah,
Sure.
yes.
Actually, I just want to ask that are these syntax predefined, or we can create our own syntax for, means if we want to code for something?
So as of now, the functions that I am talking about are predefined. Before the
Okay.
end of today, or at least by tomorrow, I will
Okay.
give you how to create your own functions as well.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Hello.
Yes.
Done with the questions. Done.
Okay. Can you just mute yourself? So okay, fair enough. So is equal to as dot factor m converts whatever is there in m to its factor form. Now, what is a factor form? A factor form is also, it looks same. This is this is m. Does it look any different other than the quotation sign? At least in my eye, it does not look much different. But this is something is very different. If you see as dot numeric mm, if I run this, it is giving me some numeric form. It is not giving me any NA values. As dot numeric m will give me lots of NA values. That means m cannot be converted to number, but mm can be converted to number. And what kind of number? The code names, the code numbers. And what this code number means? See, 33333 means the third level. And what is the third level? PNG. Is after coding ES. So it has coded. It is in your blind eye. It is saying that HUL is code number 1, Manico is code number 2, PNG is code number 3. It is printing here text only, but internally it has saved it as numbers. It has taken less space. You can do lots of mathematical analysis with this. You can not do any mathematics with m. You can do lots of mathematics with mm. Later, when we do regression and stuff, we will know. When we'll come to predictive analytics, we'll know that will help you to do lots of mathematical analysis, while m will not. M is a character. M will not. So is a numeric, though it is showing you in the front here, the highlighted area, if you can see, it is showing you in the front as text, but internally in the memory, it is saved as numbers. And that's why when I am doing as dot numeric some numeric form is coming, which is not coming for only m. So what is the purpose of doing this? One is reducing the space taken, obviously. Another is that we can do lots of mathematics with a code number. We can do certain kind of mathematics with a code number rather than a name. Generally, when you first convert a tool, I'm answering your question, how R decides which number should be assigned to which level. See, if you see here, generally at the starting phase, this is alphabetical. But later, it will not remain alphabetical. Yes, yes, yes. So one good way of this learning will be, I would strongly suggest you that you can put your questions in Canvas. In Canvas, there is a discussion forum. If you put your question in Canvas, there are 50 students. Obviously, there are some drawback of having 50 students. One drawback is that there are lots of questions which you might feel like these are very trivial questions. Why is asking so many questions? That kind of feeling may come. Another good helpful way is that even if you have a problem which you cannot solve online on your own, you can post it in the group, and there will be so many guys. If you at all participate in the discussion, there will be other people who will be helping. So I would again strongly suggest use the Canvas tool, the discussion forum of the Canvas tool. That will help you. Okay, now if I want to know the levels, mm is a factor. Levels of mm, this will come like this.
Sir, the 1 second, sir. Sir,
Yeah,
sir,
tell
what
me.
does s dot factor actually what is doing? I mean, it just removes the inverted commas.
No, it is changing it into a factor form.
Okay.
Factor is a special type of object, a special class of object. Like numeric is a class, integer is a class. Similarly, factor is a class, a special type of object. What is the special type? That is a type of object which is shown as text but is saved as numbers. So in the front you see it as text, in the back end it is saved as number.
Okay. Okay. Okay, sir. Done.
So as dot anything, whatever I do, as dot factor will change it to factor, as dot numeric will change whatever is there to numeric, as dot data frame, as dot matrix, these things will come up. This will also change it to data frame to matrix. So levels of mm is HUL, Marico, and PNG. So now let's say I want to change. So there was some problem in the data set that all the West Bengal I have written WB. Now this Mamtadi got very angry and he told no, there should be no English names. There is no West Bengal. We'll make it Bongo. So there were that kind of things at some point of time. So that change happened. And now you want to change, or whatever it was written WB, you want to change it to Bong, let's say, or something else, VNG. Similarly here, let's say I want whatever the Marico was written, that was wrongly written, I want to change it to Nestle. So all I can do is I can change the level because the coding is same. This 22222, which is Marico, sorry, this 22222, if I change the levels, that is enough. So levels of mm is HUL Marico. So levels of mm, can you tell me levels of mm? What is the class of this thing? What is the class of levels of mm? It is a character vector, exactly. String character, very good. And it's a character vector. Fair enough? So if I want to have the first entry of levels of mm, I can write like this. That will give me the first entry of levels of mm. I can do it in two steps. I can write ABC is equal to levels of mm, and then I can write ABC1. That will just be doing two steps. Or I can write it in one instead of ABC, because ABC is levels of mm. I can copy this and replace in place of ABC. So I just copy it, and whatever I write ABC, I just replace it. So I can write like this, levels of mm, and then first bracket 1. That will give me the first entry. Now if I want to change the second entry, this is how you access the second entry, and then you write is equal to some name. That will change the second entry, second to something else. So if I just run this, then mm becomes all of a sudden PNG, then HUL, then Marico becomes Nestle. I can change the whole thing. So my name is Shagato, my wife's name is Arpita, my son's name is Arubha, and I can change it like this way, that all the PNGs are, all the HULs are Shagato, all the Nestles are Arpita, and all the PNGs are Arubha. And if I just run that and put here, I get Shagato, Arpita, Arubha like this. All I'm trying to say is only when you create for the first time, these levels will be alphabetic. but not always. It might not be alphabetic always. So that you have to keep in mind. Fair enough? Are you guys with me up to this point? Okay. Okay, good. So why don't you open w1 s3.r? Please close w1 s1.r. Only one file. Only one file. No, so that will be a new level then, because the answer is that will be a new level. So just have w1 s3.r. Clean your console by pressing Ctrl L. Clean your console by pressing Ctrl L. Don't try to save your console. That is a very bad practice. Huh? Try to do it again and again, but don't try to save it. I know that many people will want to save console. Don't try to save the console. I will anyway share the recording. Don't try to save your console. Do it again. Do the wrong things and then learn. And also clean your environment. How to clean your environment? Click on this brush shine. To clean the environment. I'm doing it so that we remain in the same page. We are again starting another session basically, which is where we have a blank console, a blank environment, and a file like this. Okay. So now we will go to something called matrix and data set. These are the two things that I will do today. Matrix and data set. Okay. So let's say I quickly create these three vectors A, B, C. Just check whether you do not understand anything in A, B, C. Labels will always be characterized. Yes, yes. Okay, so A, B, C I created. Now, there are two ways to join some columns to create a matrix. So let's say I have, this is my first vector, which has 3 entries, 1, 2, 3. This is my second vector, which has 3 entries, 9, 11, 13. And this is my third vector, which also has 3 entries. It's a 99, 98, and 97. So there are two ways to join them. One is I can join them like this. This gets attached with this one, and this one gets attached with this one, and I get a matrix like this, which is basically 3 by 3 matrix. 1, 2, 3, 9, 11, 13, and 99, or let's say another one more, 4. This is, let's say, 15, and this is 96. There's a purpose why I'm saying that. So then there will be another row here, which is 4, 15, and this is 98, 97, and 96. Okay, fair enough. This is basically I'm binding them column wise. This is called C bind, column bind. Believe me, my handwriting is not so bad. This is called column bind.
Hello.
Yes.
So actually, I have one doubt. So previous to this, this C is equals to C. This represents Sachin and comma 5. What is this 5 representing, sir? Actually, I'm not getting.
So that is repeat. It is repeating Sachin 5 times.
Okay.
And then it is repeating Saurabh 5 times.
Oh, means if you
And
run.
this,
Yes. So please continue. So can you please continue?
This C is joining that 5 times Sachin and 5 times Saurabh, and then saving it in this C.
Okay. That means if we run it, then we will get Sachin 5 times and Saurabh 5 times. Okay. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
So the one that I've just drawn till now, yeah, if I've done, mute yourself.
Okay, sir.
So the one that I've just drawn till now is called C bind. I'm joining them column wise.
Okay. Okay, sir. Done, sir. Done.
So if mute yourself, okay, once the question is done. Okay, so this is basically column bind. Now, if I just see the row bind, the row bind looks like this. So the row bind makes it like, looks like this, where I will first convert it to a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then convert this one is also to a row, which is 9, 11, 13, and 15. And then I will convert the last one also to a row, just fine. So there is, I think this can choose pen color. Pen. Okay, so there is no laser here. So okay. So the third one is basically 99, 98, 97, 96, and this guys gets joined to be something like this. So here I have 4 rows, here I have 4 columns, and basically a transpose of the previous 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 9, 11, 13, 15, and basically 99, 98, 97, and 96. So this is called row bind because I'm binding it row wise. I'm converting it to a row and then binding it. So this is called R bind. So that is something that we will be doing now. I have created 3 columns. I will first create a row bind and then create a column bind, and I will see what these guys are. So these are the 2 matrices that gets created. Matrix 1 is looks like this, and matrix 2 look like this. Okay. So this is not good looking. You can click on this matrix here. It will give you a Excel type view. So matrix 1 looks like this, and matrix 2 looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then the value and such. There are some questions that has come up. C1 is going to use. Yes, as Ankita told, you have to put a. So now you just check one thing that I wanted to tell you, that in both vector and matrix, in both of them, all the values should be of same class. The individual values in them should also be of same class. If by chance they are not of same class, it will take the value of the class which is upper, which is I would say class wise superior. For example, character is class wise superior. Why I am saying superior? Because character, a number can be changed to a character. A character cannot be changed to a number. So that is a superior. It can take any form. Character can take any form, both a numeric form and non-numeric form. So here, when I have in matrix, when I've joined numeric, integer, numeric, and character together in a matrix using cbind, everything has been converted to numeric values. Character values. So that is a special characteristics of matrix. In data set, that is also how matrix and data set are differently defined in R programming. In a data set, each columns can take different values, different types. One column can be numeric, another column can be integer, another column can be factor or string, another column can be date. So they can be of different type. But in matrix, everybody has to be of same type. And because there is a text type here, everybody got converted to text. Both in matrix 1 and matrix 2, it has happened. The difference of matrix 1 and matrix 2 is basically matrix 2 is row bind. I have binded them row wise. Matrix 1 is column bind. I have bounded them column wise. I can also create a matrix manual and put values instead of creating columns. For example, I write matrix 1 to 9 and then n row is equal to 3 and by row is equal to true. So by row is equal to true means it will put 1, 2, 3 row wise, it will fill it up. So first it will fill the first row, then the second row, then the third row. See, the moment I write C is equal to 1 to 9, it knows that there are 9 values. And the moment I say n row is equal to 3, that means it knows that there are 3 rows and 3 columns. Now it will fill it up row wise. The first row gets filled first, then the second row, and then the third row. So if I just run this, and if I just see matrix 3, see it will come 1, 2, 3 at the first row, then the second row 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9. Instead of that, if I just write by row is equal to false, and then if I print matrix 3, it will do it column wise 1, 2, 3. The first column gets filled up first, then 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9. So that is how you can create a matrix. Fair enough. You can do a transpose of a matrix. Let's say T of currently matrix 3 is what? Currently matrix 3 is like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. T of matrix 3 gives me the transpose of a matrix. So you can do a transpose of a matrix. You can also do probably an inverse of a matrix. A inverse. Do you know what is inverse in a matrix? Anybody who doesn't know? Okay, so if you guys know inverse of a matrix, I can write INVER. Inverse, I do not know what is the formula. Yes, so inverse of a matrix, I don't know the formula. So let me just check. So wait a minute. So inverse, I'm just actually searching in Google. Inverse of matrix in R. There must be some way. INV should be the way, but still I'm just checking. Okay, so there is a So there is no inverse function. Actually, A in transpose A inverse is equal to 1. So there is a library called matlib. I will talk about that later. Actually, there is something called library. I will talk about that later. Be with me. So solve function, is it available here, or whether that comes under some package? That comes under some package. Oh, okay. Sorry. It is not invertible. Can you tell me why it is not invertible? I just want to know how much. Yes, determinant is 0. Thank you. So it is not invertible. So I cannot show in this one, but yes, so solve can do. So if I just do something else, let's say, okay, I will do this inverse before I cover it today. Now, the third one is I create a data frame. So in the data frame, I write A is equal to A, B is equal to B, C is equal to C, and I create a data frame, which is data 1. Now you see here, the data frame looks like a little bit different. Here it is just saying the positions. Here it is saying 10 observations and 3 variables. If I click on this, it looks similar to what I have created before. A is numbers, A is integer, B is numeric, C is such it. But if I just try to see the structure of A, that means structure of data 1, str, structure of data 1. Structure gives me what type of variable data 1 has. It says that A is integer, B is numeric, and C is a factor variable. So what I'm trying to say here, that A data 1 is different from matrix in this way, that data 1 can have different types of, yes, library. I have to install a library, but I'm not interested in installing right now. That I have to skip some steps to install a library because, so that's why I'm not doing it right now. Okay. So the structure of data 1 gives me the structure of ABC, means the data 1, it is saying that data 1 has 3 variables, A, B, and C, and A is integer, B is numeric, and C is factor. So the original form of the variables is intact, which is not the case in matrix. In matrix, everything gets converted to character. If there is one character variable, everything gets converted to character. But it does not happen. Now we will do something called, let's say, how to subset. So if you remember, I told you that A3, 5, you cannot write in this way. You have to write within C. That is because the moment in a matrix you give 2 entries without a C, it says that the first entry is a row number. It understands it in this way, that the first entry is the row number and the second entry is the column number. And here we are talking about some matrix or data set, which is in tabular form. It understands that. So for example, here, let's say, I want what is the third row, fourth row, third column of matrix 1. Fourth row, so third bracket means some address. Fourth row, third column, I have to write it in this way. No C involved. 4, 3, which gives me the fourth row and third column. So that will be one single value, which is such. Just 1 minute. So fourth row, third column is Sachin. Does that make sense? Can you tell me how to access matrix 2? Matrix 2's second row and second column. How can I access the value that is there in matrix 2's second row and second column? Yeah, okay. Fair enough. So now I can also access matrix 1's more than one column. So let's say third column, but third and fourth row. So what will I do? I will first write the comma like this. Matrix 1, third bracket and a comma. What does the C above Sachin means? That is a column name. Priti, that is the column name. Okay. So I want the third and fourth row and third column. So third column I write first 3, and third and fourth row I have to write C 3, 4. So this I will write it once more. First there is nothing there and a comma, only a comma. Whatever I write before the comma is the row numbers. Whatever I write after the comma is the column numbers. So if I plot 3 here, I have written the column number. What is the row number? 3 and 4. The row number has to be written before the comma. So C 3, 4. Okay. And if I just run this, it is given me Sachin and Sachin. Yes, Sachin, we can write like that. We can write like that. That is the right way. Fair enough. Now let's say if I want 3, 4 and second and third column, instead of third and fourth row and third column, I need second and third column. So instead of these 3, I will write C 2, 3. And I got third and fourth row, second and third column, and I'm getting a matrix form. I'm getting a matrix form. Let's say I want third and fourth row and all the columns. I want third and fourth row and all the columns. So all the columns means write nothing after the comma. Keep it blank. That means take everything. So third and fourth row, all the columns, all the 3 columns are printed. Can anybody tell me if by the same logic, if I want all the rows but first and second column, all the rows, first and second column, matrix 1, Arshad, matrix 1. I know this becomes sometimes a little bit of competitive, so who answers fast? Yeah. So matrix 1 and then comma C 1, 2. Okay. Now the same thing applies for data set also. If you write all these things in the data frame, you will get the same things. So you can get the subsetting using data 1 also. So let's say I write data 1 and then C 1, 2. I will get that also. So this part is same in both data frame and matrix subsetting. Let's say I want to print all the rows. Let's say I want to print all the rows except fourth and fifth row. What do I write? All the rows except fourth and fifth row. and all the columns. All the columns means nothing after this comma. Now, except 4th and 5th row, we write it like this: C minus 4 comma 5. Minus 4 comma 5 means that you print every row except this 4th and 5th. Fair enough? So those who are not answering, there are some people who are not answering. The reason these guys are answering so fast is because they've seen the videos, frankly speaking. So I'm asking you that it's just class preparation. They have prepared for the class beforehand. Okay, so it gives you confidence. It gives you sometimes some kind of help. So I would ask you again, prepare for the class of now. So data 1 minus C4.5 is something that I'm doing. Yes, we can write more than one command with a let's say I want to write these two together. Okay. So all I have to do is I have to put a semicolon. With a semicolon, I can write more than two codes together. So if I run this, see, the first one is printed, and next the second one is printed in a single line using a semicolon. Good question. Okay, the difference between the difference between data frame and matrix, the first difference is something that I have already told, that data frame, all the values in a matrix has to be of same class. If one of the values is text, everybody will be text. But in data frame, the values can be of different class. Okay. In data frame, everybody can be of different class. Okay, just 1 minute. And then another difference of data frame is something that I am going to show you now. In data frame, if I ask you in matrix that, yes, thank you Prithviraj, but let me tell at least. So in matrix, you cannot call one column with its name. If I want the first column of, let's say, matrix 1, I have to write like this: matrix 1, comma 1. That will give me the first column, but I cannot call it by its name. But in data frame, I can call it by its name. Data 1 $A. Dollar is like in SQL, you write that from this database select this column. Similarly, from data 1 select A. That this stands for select. So $A will actually give me. So I am calling this particular A column with its name, not by its position, but by its name. So it can be in second column, third column, fifth column, I don't know. The name of the A column can be third column, fifth column, seventh column. I don't know, but I am calling it by its name. So that is something, that is another difference between data frame and this thing. So we can do all the subsetting that we had done before. Let's say, can I tell you that give a subset of this data 1 such that the A column is more than 5. Give a subset of data 1 data set such a way such that A column is more than 5. How will I write? See, data 1 $A is this. Data 1 $A more than 5 will give me some false, some true. Now with this false and true, I want to subset the data one. Subset means I want to create a smaller set. So I want only these true rows, means only these rows where this is true, and I do not want these guys where it is false, but I need all the three columns. So what will I write? Data one, third bracket, comma. I need all the columns. That means nothing I have to write after comma, but I need only those rows where the value of A is more than 5. That basically only those rows where this is true. So if I just copy this and paste in my rows and then press an enter, I get a subset where the value of A is greater than 5. Okay, so carefully check. All of you have done mistake. Divans, Arshad, Ankita, Vikas, everybody has done some mistake. Check what the mistake you have done. These are small syntax mistakes. Arshad, your mistake is you have written after comma. I am taking all the columns. So after comma is what we write for the columns. We are taking all the columns and certain rows. So after comma it will be blank. Before comma certain rows are there. Fair enough, Arshad? Similarly, Vikas and etc. understand where you have done the mistake. Vikas, Ankita, everybody understand where you have done the mistake. So I am doing a subset of data one. That's why I will write data one and then dollar. That's first. I'm doing a subset of data one. Then I put a comma here. Why I put a comma? Because in the right side I will write certain row numbers. In the left side I will write certain column numbers. And the row numbers are which row numbers? This data one greater than 5, these row numbers, and column numbers are all the columns. So that's why that is how all. Now if I can do A greater than 5, then I can do the OR function, AND function, this function, that function. All of those things can be done here. AND operator, OR operator, nested or nested AND, all of this stuff can be done here. Fair enough. So I will just copy this and paste it here so that you remember what has been done. Subset. Yes. Put a C. Good practice. Put a C. Yes. Now there are certain plots, certain basic plots that we can do. Okay, why don't I do one thing? Write a data frame, read a data frame. The plotting I will do in a different class. I'm not doing the plotting right now. Writing a data frame. How to write a data frame? Let's say I want to save this data one. I can write write.csv. It is better to save always in a CSV format, write.csv. And then within quotation, I can write data one. No, sorry, write.csv. Write.csv has two syntax. Which data set? The data one data frame. And what will be the name of your CSV file that will be saved? That is practice.csv file. So if you just run this, in this folder where you have copied your data, in that folder, this practice.csv got saved. So you just check practice.csv got saved in the same folder from where this w1 s3.r is saved. Okay, and you can read.csv also. How to read.csv? You can write data2 is equal to read.csv and then practice.csv. So it will search for practice.csv in that folder, and then it will save it in data2. So it got saved in data2. So this is your data. So you might see that there is a X column got added. That is because, let me do it one more time correctly. That is because here you have to write row dot names is equal to false. Otherwise, it will ask for row names. Like you have given column names, it always gives no names. So you just run this once, write.csv, and then read.csv another time. So this is how you read a data and write a data. So this is the new data that we have written. This is data 2, which you have read from your computer. And write.csv saves in your computer. No, here we do not have to include the number of columns. Now Ankita asked me, can I change a matrix to a data frame? Yes, I can write data 3 is as dot data frame, as dot data dot frame matrix 3, and it changes matrix 3 to data 3. See, the data 3 got saved in your environment. If you want to see the structure of data 3, unfortunately, everything is integer. Why it is integer? Oh, matrix 3 was integer anyway. Sorry. I didn't want to show this one. Sorry. So data 3 matrix 2. Let's make it matrix 2. Data 3 is equal to as data frame matrix 2. Now, if I want to see the structure of data 3, see, I am just pressing my cursor sign to get my old codes. Cursor up and down. Up will give you the old codes that you have written. Fair enough. So structure data 3. Now see, this is giving you all the values as factor, because originally you have all of them to character variables. Okay. Oh no, not actually, not factor with 3 levels. Yes, factor with 3 levels. So it is taking all of them as as numeric as a string variable actually. Similarly, if I do it for number 1, if I do it for, let's say, matrix 1 data 3, and if I want to check the structure of data 3, see, it will give me all of them as factors, because when I created the matrix, all the 3 variables got converted to character variable. So data frame generally meets character variable as a factor variable, so that the size comes down. So it is taking all of them as factor. It is not taking each of them as numeric. So to do that, you have to create it. When you are creating, you have to write it like this way. When you are creating, you have to write it like this way. Then the individual characteristics will be intact. If you convert it from the matrix, the individual characteristics gets lost. So I think enough for today. I initially planned for 3 hours, but I will take 2 hours today, and we'll take more classes in later days. Or should I go ahead? Do you think it is heavy, or should I stop here? Should I go ahead? Should I take 5 minutes break? Anything? Okay. Then if so many people are saying go ahead, let's take 5 minutes break, and then I will again start. Okay, as usual, please clean your console. Please clean your global environment also and open w1s4.r. Okay. Factor with 10. Factor with 10 levels. So please run line number 3 to line number 7 and see whether you are understanding it or not. Yes. So we are basically creating a data set. We can use a equal to sign instead of that sign that Pushkal told that both means equal to sign. Okay. So now I will be calling a library. So in the last class I talked about what is somebody suggested library and I told I will tell it later. So there are certain functions which are stored in some library which is developed by some developers. See, it is an open source language. You can create your own library also in your own custom made functions also. So that is something that other people have done and stored it for you. So one such library is called sorry for that. So you can also sometimes use somebody else's library. Okay. So how to use somebody else's library? So you can install a library by going to this packages, this thing packages tab. So you can go to packages and you can. So these are the packages that are currently it's running for me, which are currently installed in your system. This one. Yeah, so there are certain packages which are currently installed in your system. Sometimes when it is shared, it takes a little bit more time than so then I have to unshare it the speed. So anyway, so this is when you click on this install packages in the package tab, you will get this kind of a pop-up where you can write dplyr if you do not have it. Let's say it's first time, so dplyr you can just write. So that is the package that we will be trying to install. Package is basically a set of functions written together, or sometimes data sets and etc. written together. So that I am going to install right now. I can also write it manually. I can write it install.packages, and then dot within code I can write dplyr. Okay. No. This is one certain package. There are lots of packages available. So dplyr is one such. It's like in C you write so RStudio.h or something like that you write. No, so that kind of thing. So include something we write. Here we install .packages. So dplyr is name of one package which we will use. Now, when you run entire lots of files gets downloaded, it will take 2-3 minutes time to get downloaded. Just press enter, just write install.packages dplyr and then press enter. It will take 2-3 minutes time, and then it gets saved. So my question is to you guys that are you doing it with me? Those who have not seen the video, yes, please do it with me. Yes, because and nobody is facing any technical glitches. Nobody is facing any technical glitches. Nobody is facing any. Oh, that's very unlikely actually. Then I probably have a better class. Okay. So sometimes the syntax error you do, because coding will always have syntax error. So my technical glitches, I'm saying that kind of glitch means you forgot to put a semicolon and you do not find that why will I put the semicolon or comma or something like that. So that kind of mistake we often do. Anyways, so I will install the library. I've already installed, so I will call the library directly. So those who have not installed, I have to first install it and then call it. Now here in this particular tab, I am getting all the libraries in it. So if you are getting permission denied, after installing, I called it. So the following objects are masked. The following objects are. So that is okay. Arshad, this masking and etc. will not get scared. Don't get scared. This is okay. Yes, that is true. So if you have downloaded the updated version of RStudio, you will automatically they will give you alternate solution. They will ask you which one to install. If anyone else is having issue in installing, Nishant, okay, just 1 minute, Nishant. Nishant, share your screen. Kindly share your screen. Are you using your office computer by any chance? You can unmute yourself. You can talk directly with me. Nishant,
No, sir,
are
I
you
am not
using
using. No, I'm using a personal computer, sir.
personal computer only? Okay. Friends, install packages, cannot open files, see details, blah 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 blah. It's getting downloaded, but it's not getting. Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute.
Yes, sir.
So any antivirus other than the Windows Defender?
Yes, sir. I have an antivirus with Defender.
Yeah, Devajyati's answer is correct actually. So RStudio as an administrator, if you run, but that should not be the way. Means you should actually allow this one to give you access. One way of doing it is that when you install R in the next time, not you don't do anything right now. The next time you don't install it in, you do have other this thing.
Accounts, sir.
I don't know other than C.
Other than C,
Other C
yeah.
folder.
Come again, sir.
So if the two ways, as guys are saying, that you can run it as administrator. The RStudio, if you run it as administrator, it will give you access. That is
Okay, sir.
one
I'll
way.
try. Yeah, I'll try it on my off time again. So not to worry, I guess.
Yes, or other thing is you can install it in D folder. That
Okay,
will
sir.
also
I'll
do.
get it done.
You can
Not an issue.
install your R in D folder instead of C folder. Then there will be no problem.
Okay, sir. I can get it done later. So I'm just offing my screen access.
Fair enough. Okay. Okay, so I just called the library dplyr. Now dplyr is a library which does a little bit of piping. Piping means it runs the column functions. It runs one column at a time in one go. So if I just see that how to do it. So I'm doing what I have created a data set called data, which looks like this, which has 4 columns: the financial year, the company name, company name, and the revenue and the margin. So these are the 4 columns that you have. Now I want a summary of this data. So there are 2 ways of summarizing. So when I do it like this, I take data, and this is a specific function which is under dplyr library. Other than dplyr library, other people do not understand this syntax. So data and then a piping and then group by company. That means it is grouping the data set. It is basically breaking the data set based on company. So what it is doing, if by chance I have a data set which has PNG, HUL and Marico, then it is basically breaking the data set in this particular. These columns are for PNG. This is PNG, PPP. This is Marico, MMM, and this is, let's say, HUL, HHH. So this is breaking them or grouping them into multiple groups. So that much is being done by group by company, this thing. So this guy is doing that. So now, if I then there after doing the grouping, there are 2 ways of dealing with it. One is you can mutate. You just see this one and this one. The above line number 11 and line number 13. So these 2 guys are doing the same thing, but here I am writing mutate, and in the below one I am writing summarize. So in the mutate, what it does is create a new. It changes the currently. Okay, Rupam, that is nothing but a syntax. That's a piping syntax. That is like you take data and change. You take data set. The name of the data set is data. Yes, Pushkal, you have to actually. You do not have to install every time, but you have to attach it every time. You have to call the library every time you use it. So I'm not sure whether you have installed last time, Manjari. You have to, if you have not installed, you have to install it once more. But you if it's showing error, that error might be just because you have not called it. First call this library within bracket dplyr. Line number 9. You just run this line number 9. I'm answering Manjari. Library dplyr. If this is giving error, then that means that you have to download the dplyr package once more. If that is not giving error, then that means it is installed. Anyways, so here I have grouped it, and the mutate will actually change the original data set, while summarize will not change the original data set. Summarize will create a new data set. So here I'm doing mutate, but here I'm doing summarize. So summarize will create a new data set. It's a syntax with them. It's just a syntax. It's saying that what you do next, the next step. It's a joining. So what I am doing next in mutate, I am creating 2 columns. One is highest margin and one is lowest margin. I am creating 2 columns, and highest margin is maximum of the margin and lowest margin is minimum of the margin. So what does it do? Let's just understand fast. So in the first step, from the original data set, I am creating 3 groups. Each of this group has multiple rows. Let's say this has 3 rows, this has 5 rows, this has 7 rows, and this is of PNG. All the 3 rows are PNG. All the 3 rows are HUL, and all the 3 is of Marigold. The first grouping is doing that. Then I am writing mutate. Mutate means I will add new columns here. This much they understand. What are the new column? This new column is highest margin. This new column is lowest margin. The name I have given. Then what will be the value? The value is maximum of margin. Now maximum of how much? Here it will be the maximum of. Here there is a margin column. That margin has 3 values because there are 3 rows. These 3 values, whatever is the maximum, will be printed here, and whatever will be the minimum will be printed here. Similarly, here there are 5 values of margin. Whatever is the maximum of these 5 values will be printed here 5 times, and whatever is the minimum will be printed here 5 times. Similarly, 7 times maximum, 7 times minimum. So basically, in the original data set, I am creating 2 new columns which has this maximum rows and maximum columns. So these are the thing that I'm taking. I'm creating a new data set which is almost looks like the original data set, but with 2 new columns. So if I just run this, you will see my results has been created. So when I am doing dplyr library, I will use it. That is only when I am doing dplyr library to summarize data. So that's a syntax that we use to summarize data using dplyr library. So you check that there are 2 columns got created, and the margin of PNG. What is the highest margin of PNG? And what is the lowest margin of PNG? So that value is getting printed there. Similarly, for HUL, what is the highest value? What is the lowest value? So the highest value and lowest values are getting printed there. So that is how we are dealing with this particular thing. Now, instead of doing that, what we do in pivot table in Excel, I can create a separate data set also. So here, the moment I do summarize, it creates a separate data set with base margin as the column, and which is nothing but maximum of margin. So if I just run this, highest profit margin is a different data set. It does not look like the previous data set. And here only the 3 company names are there because I grouped by company. So the 3 company names are there and corresponding base margin are there. No, Ankita, if you have ever used pivot table, in Excel, the summarizer's job is to create a pivot table. It creates a summary of the data. Now, if you have understood this, can you try on your own? Create a summary of the data where I want to have financial year-wise maximum revenue. I want financial year-wise maximum revenue, which means I want a data set which looks like this: 1999, 2000, and 2001, and it will look like this: maximum revenue, and the value here will be, let's say, 13456, and the next year it will be 14. I hope so. Yes, next year it will be 14567. One, 4, 5, 6, 7, and third year it will be something like 15698. What will I do? I will take data as usual, then group by. Here instead of company I will write FY. Then summarize as usual because I am creating a new data set, and I will write maximum margin, not maximum margin, maximum revenue is equal to max of revenue. So Abhiraj, whatever has written, I don't know whether you can see that. Abhiraj, whatever is written is correct. So group by FY and then summarize maximum of revenue is equal to max of revenue. Fair enough? Is it something that you cannot understand? Yes, yes. Why don't you try it? Just run it in your line and see that whether it is coming or not. Not group by revenue, Preeti, group by financial year. And also check the piping code is not right. It should be percentage greater than percentage, not percentage dash percentage. I'm saying it to Preeti. Good. Can you guys give me the highest cost of goods sold? Do you know what is cost of goods sold? So if my revenue is 100 rupees, and let's say I'm saying that margin is 5%, revenue is 100 rupees, margin is 5% or 5 rupees, let's say, then cost of goods sold is nothing but 100 minus 5, which is 95 rupees. Margin is my profit. Can you give me the maximum revenue, sorry, maximum cost of goods sold? It's a minimum cost of goods sold. Give me the minimum cost of goods sold. Financial year wise, minimum cost of goods sold. No, financial year wise. For each financial year, I want the minimum cost of goods sold. So the margin is 11 means that is a percentage. Okay. So 11% will be 11% of 11234 will be the profit. And if you subtract that, yes, Kandarbi, that's right. Yes, Bindu, that is right. But before that, you have to calculate the cost. And those who have seen the videos know that how to calculate the cost. So the cost is currently not there. The cost is currently not there, but you have to first calculate the cost. You have to write data dollar cost is basically data dollar revenue into 100 minus data dollar margin divided by 100. Am I right? Fair enough. So that I will first create the cost, and then whatever you guys are suggesting. Yes, you can write it in one go also. Thank you, Divans. This is basically the one that you did, Divans, is the advanced way of coding. Instead of writing 2-3 lines, do it in one go. Good job, guys, good job. So now I will teach something called ifelse function quickly. What is ifelse function? Ifelse is like in Excel we do. So let's say I am saying that if the cost is higher than 9,000, 10,000, it is high, otherwise low. So I'm writing data dollar cost cat. Cost cat means cost category is equal to ifelse. Ifelse will have three syntax. See, it is saying the test. What is the value when it will be yes? What is the value when it will be no? So I'm saying data dollar cost is greater than 10,000, then it will be high, otherwise it will be low. So I am creating a new variable in dataset. The dataset name is data. The variable name is cost category. And I'm writing ifelse function, which is saying that if the cost variable is higher than 10,000, make it high, otherwise low. If I run this much and then check the data set, see here there are some low high column got created. So whenever the values are less than 10,000, it is low. Whenever the values are higher than, and like I have created one single test, I can have multiple tests. Let's say I say that when the cost is greater than 10,000 and then it is high. If it is when it is not greater than 10,000, again I'm writing another ifelse within that. So when it is greater than 10,000, put it high, that's fine. When it is not greater than 10,000, I'm putting another ifelse. We call it nested if. Nested if, another ifelse within that. But I'm saying when the data dollar cost is greater than 5,000, tell it medium, otherwise low. Fair enough. You have all written nested if in your coding days. So if I just now run this one and check data, actually there is nothing which is low. So that's why some guys gets high and there's some that gets medium. So this is how I can write a nested if. With me? I can write a if function in a different way also. I will not show you right now. You can search it. This is very basic. So then comes, okay, then why don't you, if you have done this, if you have understood this, why don't you create something like this? So whenever just 1 minute. Okay, so this is my job. That is, these are the two things that I am asking you to summarize the data in such a way, summarize the data in such a way that the companies which have average margin higher than 12 will be mentioned as high profit companies and others will be mentioned as low profit. Okay, this is my question to you guys. Try to write a code. Summarize the data in such a way such that the companies which has average margin, average means the 3 months average, 3 financial years average. If that is higher than 12, then make it high profit, otherwise low profit. Write a code, run the code on your console. If you get the result, then only you post it in your chat box. It's better to do mistakes. No, Abhiraj, I have not told that. Understand the question. Anybody else not having my voice? Anybody else not getting my voice? Okay. Sasank, check your audio connections. See the question, understand the question. First, you have to find out average margin company wise. Every company wise, you have to find out the average margin. Group by company and summarize Ifelse. What is ifelse? Okay. Okay. Just run it. I am not sure. Just run it. If it is giving the result, let me just check. I will just copy it. The column company is not found. This should be C. Just check what you should write the ifelse correctly. That is not what you should write the ifelse. You should write highest cost is equal to then ifelse. But good job. Yeah, exactly. Bindu. Just check what Bindu did. No, maximum of data margin. So you have to do maximum of whatever mean of margin. Mean of ifelse means of actually I think what PPC has done it right. Pranavendra Prasad Chandra has done it right. If I'm not wrong, yes, I think Pranavendra has done it right. Let's just copy his code and paste it. So before writing the code in the chat box, check whether it is giving some results or not. Good job, Pranavendra. And good try by everybody. Means this is something that is pretty good, I would say, to be doing in the first class itself. Though probably you have seen the videos, but still this thing is good. Appreciate it. Okay, so I am taking Pranavendra's answer. Everybody can try also at a later point of time. Let's go ahead. Another two things we have to do, and then I will complete today's class. The next thing is loop. The mostly we use if loop here. So let's say I will add this. Right, let me write if. Oh, so loop is sorry. Loop is not if. Loop is for loop. For I in 1 to, let's say data 9, 1 to 9, or I will write dim data 1. This is something that I always love to make it dim data 1. What is dim data 1? So dim of data gives you the dimension of a data set. 9,6 means there are 9 rows and 6 columns. So dim data 1 will give you only 9 columns, that 9 number, which is the column number, which is the row number. So that is what I am writing. Instead of writing 9 here, I am writing dim data 1. Instead of writing 9 there, I am writing dim data 1 because I want it to be dynamic. So then the second bracket, and I'm making some space. What I will do, for each row, I will actually add the margin by the row number. So margin is 11, that in the first one, that one will become 12. Margin is 13 in the second one, that one will become 15. This one is 12, will become again 15, 12 plus 3. This one will be 12 plus 4. This one will be 12 plus 5. This one will be 13 plus 6. Some game I'm just playing. So that is the case. For how will I do it? Yeah, good. Divyang's very good. So how will I do it? So I am writing that data dollar margin I data dollar margin I is equal to data dollar margin I, whatever was the value, plus I. That's all. So what it will do, it will first pick up data dollar margin I. When I is equal to 1, when I is equal to 1, what is this value? If I just copy this part, okay. If I just copy this part and paste it here, this value is 11. So that means this plus I is 12. That 12 value, which is basically this much, 12 value is getting saved here. That 12 value is getting saved here. So is there any lag in the video? Okay, so did you understand what I have told? So I is equal to 1. One more time. Okay, one more time. I am, what is my, what I'm trying to do here? What I'm trying to do here? I am, yeah, I'm repeating. So this is my data set. I'm just opening the data set. Yes, I can understand that actually. It is being shown in my screen. I don't think that is your problem. It is my problem. I think you can see it now. Fine. So there was some connection issues here, not in your side. So there is margin 11, 13, 12, 12, 12, 13. I am just try to add the row number with the margin. That means that 11, number 11 will be replaced by 12 because 11 plus 1 is equal to 12. Then the second one will be 13 plus 2 because that is in the second row. 13 plus 2 becomes 15. 12 plus 3 also becomes 15. So I am just replacing the margin with original margin plus the row number. That is something that I just want to do. That's all. There's no reason for doing it. I just want to do that. So what I will do, so here I have written this code for I in dim data 1, which is I in 1 to 9. The data dollar margin I is equal to data dollar margin I plus I. So can you tell me what is when I is equal to 1? What is this value data dollar margin I in the right hand side? In the right hand side, what is this value data dollar margin I when I is equal to 1? No. The first row 11, exactly 11. And that plus I means 11 plus I becomes 12. 11 plus 1 becomes 12. Now that 12 value gets saved in again data dollar margin I. Then first loop gets ended. In the second loop, what happens now? I's value becomes 2. In the second step, I's values become 2. Data dollar margin I is 13. That means the second entry of margin, which is 13. 13 plus 2 becomes 15. Exactly. The second, then is value becomes 3. It becomes 12 plus 3, again 15, and so on. So that's how I can write basic loop. So this is the syntax for I in, and then whatever the values I can take, and then the code within it. That is the basic syntax. Why don't you write this? Yes, 1 colon means from it will start from 1 and go up to that. So remember, in the first, when we started the class, I don't think you were there at the time, 1 colon 5, this meant 1 2 3 4 5 integers. Yes, that I is equal to I plus 1, you do not have to write. It is inbuilt. If you write a while loop, if you by chance write a while loop, Preeti, you have to write that. But for loop, that is inbuilt. Actually, that is not inbuilt. That takes the value of here. So I could have wrote like this. For I in C2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. I could have also written like this. I in 2, 4. So then it will first take I is equal to 2. Then it will take I is equal to 4. Then so the sequence is not required. Not always it will be in sequence. It will be only the values that I am giving. I am feeding it the values. It will start the first time, it will take the value of 2. Next, it will take the value of 4, and so on. Okay, so if I just run this, you just run that and check the results. So I have just run it. There is some lag in the video. It will come. It will show. Yeah, so it has been run now. And if I just click on the data, at least in my screen, it will show it in your screen soon. It is showing 12, 15, 15, 15, 12, 15, 15, and 16, then 17, and so on. So it will show you in your screen also. Yes, we have to add sequentially, means we have to put that C in such a way. In most of the cases, we do it sequentially, but not always. Not always that sequence is required. There will be certain situations when this sequence will not be required, and in such kind of cases, we don't do that. But this is how we run a loop. Okay. No, it is not taking too much time. It's just showing the lag. Means it took 1 second time in my computer, but the video is getting lagged somehow. It was not being like that initially, but now it is going like that. Anyway, so we'll stop here today. In the next class, I will start from function. I will start first, write a function. And then we will do something called, so I think up to this point, the fourth session, you will have videos. After that, you don't have videos. So tomorrow we will do something called ggplot, visualization, graphs and charts. Now, frankly speaking, there are lots of different kind of graphs can be drawn in this R programming. But some basic graphs are easier to be drawn in Excel rather than here. But what happens is when you actually deal with data set, bigger data set, you cannot switch from one platform to another platform. So, Pritham, if you want the original values, don't change it in the data set. You make a copy of the data set. So you write data 1 is equal to data. You just write data1 is equal to data, something like that, and then do whatever operation you want to do in data1. So multiple copy of the data set. So write data1 is equal to data, a copy will be created. Okay. Sorry, I forgot about that. Thank you for asking the ones. So the answer to that is, let's say, why don't you just write? It is the video will take some time so I'm just writing A is equal to 1:1000. This is what I wrote. So A is equal to 1:1000, and then just A. So the values that you are getting here, this third bracket thing that we are getting here, this 991, let's say, that is nothing but the position of this particular value. That is the position, the location, the address of this particular value. 976 is the address of this particular value. Okay, let's just say that, just to give an idea, I'm just writing A is equal to C, repeat 335 times, then repeat 298 times. Yes, I will share the coded files, but I'm writing in console. I'm not saving it in the code. You see, Sandeep, I am not. So just see what I've written. Now, if I just write A, the first entry of A is 3. I have run this code. My video got stopped actually because of connectivity issues. I've run this code and then press A. If you just check that the first entry is 3 when you run A, and then the 39th entry is 2, the 77th entry is 2, the 115th entry is also 2. So these values is 139, 77, 115 is nothing but the location of the value which is just beside that. Why it is required? Why this kind of is required? Can anybody tell me what is the 42nd value? 42nd value of A? Yes, because if that 39th value is 2, you can just see that what is the 42nd value. Can you tell me what is the let's say 39, this 38, 37, 36, 35. What is the 35th value? Thirty-fifth value is 3. So that is the job of that. It just helps you. It acts as a reference point. Very good, Ashutosh. For simplicity, it is present. Yes, it has no other purpose. Any other questions from today's class? Yes, curiosity is always good. You should be curious. Any other questions before we close today? Generally, yes. Different cases. I will show you different situations we use muted, different situations we use summarize. Generally, summarize is more used than muted. Dim data 1. Why don't you just run dim data Manjari? Dim data, only that part. If I just write dim and data, it gives me a dimension of data set. Dimension means how many rows, how many columns. So dim data 1, dim data, and then bracket 1 only picks up the first entry of that thing. First entry is what? The row number. So dim data 1 is the row number basically. Yes, Anindo, you can send it. You can post all your queries in Canvas. Also, after the closing of the class, please post your queries in Canvas. Advantage is either me or somebody else or my TA will reply. In real life, Rupam, we don't create data frame. We read data frame. In real life, we don't create it manually. We just read it from some CSV file. So level recoding is like levels of some data set name, some variable name, levels of variable, and then one. Let's say you want to change the first level to something, some ABCD. So that's how you write it. Levels and then variable, and you can check the video. We have done it. You can check the video. I will share the video by tonight. It will take another 1 hour to process, I think, after the closing of the class. Okay, guys, good job. It was nice because you guys are responsive enough and probably fast also, pretty fast also. As I told before, it helps if you come, you study and come. Just those who have statistics background ever in your life, just read about mean, standard deviation a little bit and then come to tomorrow's class. Mean, standard deviation. Okay, the name of the book is Levin Rubin, the Statistics for Management. Statistics for Management. You will get an Indian version, Levin Rubin Rastogi or something like that, which is the Indian version. You can buy that. Okay, guys, I think that's all for today. I will see you in the next class. Bye bye tonight.
Thank you.
Bye tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
এই সবাই ঘরে আছো তো? মানে ঘরের বাইরে নেই তো?